what a great crowd this morning. Mick, thank you wherever you went. Thank you very much for everything you're doing with Leadership Lincoln. Dean Finnegan, now Mick, the tradition goes on, it builds, it creates a great, great future for the city of Lincoln. Congratulations to Bernie. I know him from a long way back, and he's been doing good things forever. Congratulations, Benny, very much. If you can give me just a second here, I'm going to push my send button. There, so congratulations. You are the first recipients that have ever received a tweet authored by a mayor of the city of Lincoln. There you go. I know it's not going to be exactly a seminal moment in the technological advance of civilization, but we're using that little technique this morning because we want to make a very important, larger point. And if you will excuse me, I'm going to dig right into it. Time is short. And anyway, I know you're in a good mood because you all have just survived the second worst earthquake in the history of the city of Lincoln without harm or hindrance of any sort. The city handled itself well, wouldn't you agree? Our world is changing rapidly. And I think you would agree it's changing in ways that were unimaginable in just a few short years ago. We know it even if we don't conscientiously acknowledge it. Every time we text, check the latest tweet, or order a pizza online, we validate the notion that the processes by which we interact in almost every sphere of our lives have been and are being forever altered. Even the pace of change has changed. Compare the slow 1,000-year processes of evolutionary change or the century-long change of the Industrial Revolution. Compare that to the short period of time it took in the internet era to get a single fiber strand in a matter of nanoseconds, transmitting the entirety of human history. Our success as a society in this new and fast-paced environment depends on our ability to create and to react and to adapt quickly. Yesterday's accomplishments are fleeting in a world where technology becomes outdated almost as soon as it is adopted. Relentless innovation is how we retain leadership in a world that looks for constant reinvention. What does that mean for the future of our city? It means that our economic success is dependent upon creating and sustaining a culture of innovation. A culture of innovation, that's what it's about now. City Hall must not only encourage the innovation occurring in the private sector, but we must also adopt a cultural mindset that encourages innovation within our own organization. It is with reference to these important objectives that we evaluate the state of this great city this year. Today, I'm proud to report to you that Lincoln's innovation culture is already vibrant and strong. Together, we are creating a high quality of life and a dynamic economy that's creating a huge number of jobs. As will be discussed, that culture is even saving lives. The fact is, there has never been a better time to live, work, raise a family, and have fun in this city. substantially improving that quality of life for all who live here is the goal underlying that an innovation culture will help us reach. Creating an innovation culture involves several concepts. We have to promote risk-taking and experimentation with ideas, with new ideas. We must invest in people who think clearly about big ideas and empower them. We have to creatively use technology within the private sector to improve services. And finally, we have to invest in and improve the public infrastructures that support innovation. Successful companies support risk takers and experimentation. Facebook's CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, said, "In a world that is changing really quickly, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking risks." His belief drives the innovation that has made Facebook a giant in both American business and culture. It is important to foster risk-taking culture at the city government level. It was a city employee, the late Virender Singh, who suggested one of the most important innovations in Lincoln's recent history. When the downtown streets were resurfaced a few years back, the city put in underground fiber conduit at the same time, not fully certain of how the experiment would work out. Fast forward to today, and Lincoln's 350 miles of conduit known as the Lincoln Technology Improvement System has dramatically altered broadband service in Lincoln. A new broadband provider is using that conduit to bring 1 gigabyte internet speed to homes and businesses across the city. Other broadband providers are now working to increase their internet speeds, creating the competition that lowers prices and expands access to all residents. As the Lincoln Journal-Star editorial board said, Virender Singh's legacy lives on in the capital city's 21st century future. And thank you to David Young, now in our Public Works Department, for so dramatically building on to Virender's initiative. The private sector and the University of Nebraska have enshrined risk-taking as part of their institutions. UNL's Innovation Campus, for example, is an incubator of young entrepreneurs helping them to develop exciting new businesses. They, in turn, join a thriving startup community centered in the West Haymarket, where they receive mentoring and world-class support from the likes of Nebraska Global and Huddle and Nelnet and Speedway and Penlink and many other firms now dedicated to building Lincoln's innovation culture. City Hall must continue to embrace the risk-taking entrepreneurs in the private sector who are building our economy. We must continue to look for opportunities to partner and promote the next big idea. Otherwise, government becomes an obstacle to progress rather than an ally of progress. That's why our administration took a risk when we utilized the new laws coming out of the legislature designed to help cities innovatively finance economic expansion. Now, as a result, Shields is building a unique $80 million expanded regional store at South Point, a project that will boost our economy and prevent local dollars from leaving the city for sporting goods stores in Omaha and Kansas City. The message that Lincoln sends to risk takers matters. When we embolden ingenuity and original thinking, we invite success and we get success. How else do you explain the development of Pinnacle Bank Arena and the West Haymarket area? The proponents of a new arena came to City Hall and they said they wanted to build a new arena in a floodplain with miles of railroad tracks and serious environmental problems. It would have been very easy to politely show them the door. But rather than sending them away, we all came together as a community in supporting what many thought was a crazy, improbable dream. What we didn't do was let our skepticism derail the entrepreneurial spirit that has given us now one of the nation's premier entertainment venues and helped create unprecedented economic growth. I'm proud to report to you today that Pinnacle Bank Arena will finish this year in the black. And I want to recognize City Councilman Carl Eskridge and University of Nebraska Regent Tim Clare. The three of us serve on the West Haymarket JPA board that oversees the project. Tim and Carl really do deserve a lot of credit for the area's success. We should encourage the kind of experimentation within city government that creates better ways of doing business. Businesses with innovative cultures encourage their workforces now to experiment. In fact, Google allows their employees to devote 1 day a week to experiment with ways to improve the company. It creates an organizational mindset to always be searching for the next innovation that will improve lives. In our Public Works Department, former Marine Corps Major Ty Barger had the idea to improve brine with beet juice, a beet juice additive, to make our streets safer and easier to navigate during snowstorms. Public Works staff worked long hours experimenting with different combinations until they found the right formula. Academic studies now confirm that this new approach is far superior at keeping roads safe and snow-free during our tough winters. Experimentation with new ideas can clearly result in changes that make life better. The way we managed our parking had not changed in this city for decades prior to our administration. Then, urban development experimented with bold changes, including moving downtown parking enforcement to the private sector, encouraging parking with the first hour free program, the use of debit cards, smartphone phone applications to pay for parking, altogether a combination of smarter ways to do business, many of them employing new technologies. Thank you, Wayne Metzdorf, for your exciting approaches. These are just a few of the many examples of taking risk and experimentation going on at City Hall to create better results for residents of the city. Innovation does not happen by itself. It occurs because individual people think big and are empowered to make it happen. I believe investing in people is the most critical component of a culture of innovation. We depend on city staff and community members all around the town to help us discover the big ideas that make our city stronger. When we take the next step and give these talented people the authority to take action on these ideas, in that way we move the city forward. Our recent choice to invest more resources in StarTran is an excellent example. It was the people who ride StarTran, like Richard Smelling of Citizens for a Better Transit, who emphasized to us that we needed certain changes, including crosstown routes, as well as later and more frequent service. Bus patrons knew these changes were necessary for StarTran to successfully provide access to employment, education, and healthcare. StarTran's manager, Mike Davis, led the study that gave us a complex roadmap to a better bus service, which was dependent in part on higher technologies. Council members Jane Raybould and Cindy Lamb were strong advocates of that expansion. Our health department is quietly one of the most effective public health services in the nation. It is a hotbed of new ideas responding to the changing health needs of the community constantly. When data showed that leftover medication contributed to increases in drug overdoses, the health department's Willa DiCostanzo and staff didn't wait for the federal government to recognize the crisis. They acted, bringing together 44 Lincoln pharmacies and other partners to start the Nebraska Meds Project, a prescription medicine take-back program. Over 12,000 pounds of unused medications have been eliminated from Lincoln and Lancaster County homes over 4 years. Because staff was empowered to act, recent data shows that Lincoln is not seeing the rise of opioid deaths that other communities now face. Empowering people to find solutions is helping Lincoln maintain its coveted AAA bond rating, which is a critical component of our successful financial management. Cities across the nation struggle with employee pension funding. After the stock market crash in 2008, Lincoln's police fire pension developed a serious funding shortfall. Councilman Trent Fellers had the idea for a citizens review committee and acted on it. The committee, led by local businessman Richard Evnan, made recommendations that have already greatly improved the health of our pension fund. Councilman John Camp's longtime advocacy for responsible funding of the pension helped us move the committee's recommendations through the City Council. These changes were critical to ensuring Lincoln's outstanding credit rating into the future. An innovation culture creatively uses technology to also open up vast new opportunities to improve the community and even to save lives. Lincoln's public safety services are leaders and have been for some time in creatively using technology. The Lincoln Police Department has long been on the cutting edge in using technology to better geographically focus law enforcement resources. Today, creative technology solutions in other areas of public safety are proving effective in protecting Lincoln families. For example, Lincoln's enthusiastic adoption of the ingenious smartphone app helps protect people experiencing cardiac arrest. The Pulse Point app sends an alert when somebody at a particular location needs CPR, allowing those nearby who know CPR to quickly respond. Lincoln Fire and Rescue, their investment in other new CPR technology is improving the delivery of life-saving medical techniques. When coupled with emergency dispatch changes that have improved overall emergency response times by 25 seconds, a patient's odds of surviving cardiac arrest have improved dramatically. I want to recognize Lincoln Fire and Rescue's talented medical director, Dr. Jason Kruger, for his work in this area. Innovative use of technology is one of the reasons that Lincoln enjoys a cardiac survival rate that is the best in the nation, almost 50% higher than the national average. Council members Larry and Gaylord Baird and Trent Fellers have brought us another avenue for creatively using technology in Lincoln. The open data resolution now passed will improve the lives of residents and create economic growth in the process. By making more city data easily accessible, creative new products like smartphone apps can be developed by the private sector. Open data also helps improve government transparency and efficiency. The city's Action Center, the Action Center phone app, already allows residents to snap a picture of a pothole or a bad sidewalk. The city's GPS technology then allows us to pinpoint the location without the user filling out online forms. This is the kind of innovation that speeds response, helping keep the neighborhoods strong and vibrant. Embracing new technology has given Lincoln City crews the physical tools to fill potholes faster and more efficiently. Specialized pothole filling trucks allow one employee to do the work of 3, giving citizens a higher level of service without adding staff. While an innovation culture invites new ideas and new ways of doing business, old-fashioned municipal fundamentals like building roads and maintaining roads and other infrastructure is still obviously essential. That is part of the reason why our administration has increased street spending by 58% since 2010. That has allowed us to improve 72 miles of arterial streets and 487 blocks of residential streets since that time. A record amount of spending on streets is part of the new 2016-18 budget, and the long-awaited South Beltway is now entirely funded in our 6-year roads plan. In one really important way, traditional street construction is being further enhanced by our budding innovation culture. The Greenlight Lincoln program uses new embedded fiber and sensors, new software, and better stoplight replacements to increase road capacity, moving traffic more quickly and more safely. This next generation infrastructure allows us to manage traffic in real time and better coordinate and improve traffic signal timing. Citizens will save time on most all trips they make in the future. In the last year, Lincoln citizens voted to improve the community's public safety infrastructure, as you'll remember, by increasing the city's sales tax for a period of time by 1/4 cent. The funding will innovate by replacing completely our aging emergency radio system and improve response times by creatively realigning and adding new fire and police stations. We've also worked with the City Council, and in particular Councilman Roy Christensen, to add new police officers. And we've added a 7th ambulance to improve our medical emergency response times. When we invest in a community in these ways, we also create opportunities for economic growth that in turn fuels the innovation culture. Innovation concepts recognize the changes in society and provide new ways of dealing with these changes. For example, at the Veterans Hospital property on 70th Street, a public-private partnership could lead to a nearly $100 million investment in a seniors' village. This forward-thinking proposal includes new housing options, retail, and a new Aging Partners Seniors facility focused to better serve in one location the needs of our community's veterans and senior citizens. Our public libraries have long been a hub of innovation. Now, we need to employ some creative thinking as we consider the future of Bennett Martin. In this age of innovation, libraries are more than just holding facilities for books and periodicals. They can be centers for community knowledge and technology, where people access information in a wide variety of mediums and formats. They can be collaborative spaces for people solving problems in academia, business, or neighborhood groups. And they have the potential for tremendous economic impact when partnered with private sector development. Creative innovation is needed here, right now. We anticipate that a viable plan will emerge from the many conversations currently underway. Once a plan is established, residents will be able to voice their preference with regard to a downtown library through a bond election that will likely be on the ballot in the next couple of years. Our community learning centers are changing lives every day. The CLCs are new, unique partnerships between the city, the Lincoln Public Schools, and community nonprofits led by Barb Bartle and the Lincoln Community Foundation. Kids benefit from expanded after-school hours learning opportunities and from neighborhood development that improve the places they call home. Stable and consistent funding must be found to ensure continued success. This idea of getting more use out of school facilities through a school-city nonprofit partnership could be the next great innovative use of facilities in Lincoln. Virtually all of Lincoln's 14,000 public ash trees will be wiped out in the next few years by the emerald ash borer. $29 million is the initial estimate on the cost to remove and replace these trees. Now we have set aside $1 million per year to begin addressing the problem, but we must continue to monitor closely what's happening in other communities who have already gone through this experience. We must continue to seek out new ideas that solve these challenges more effectively and hopefully for less cost. I'm hopeful that a partnership to be formed soon with the private and nonprofit sectors will help stimulate new solutions. In your program today, you'll see an example of what can spring up when we create a culture of innovation. A week-long series of programs dubbed LNK DNA. The creative young professionals of our community realized that some great events were happening in the first week of October. They began to reorganize and rebrand and build on these things. That synergy created a new city celebration of startups, entrepreneurship, music, visual arts, and fitness. Their vision is to grow LNK DNA into Lincoln's version of South by Southwest, a festival that helped put Austin, Texas on the map, you'll recall. They're dreaming big, working hard, and having fun in the city they love. Significant innovation is no longer a once every several years event. Innovation is a constant for those businesses and communities that hope to thrive. An innovation culture moves cities forward. It creates vibrancy that keeps our university graduates at home. It attracts entrepreneurs who seek networks of other innovators who drive their business models. An innovation culture instills confidence that we can together meet and overcome the challenges to our high quality of life. An innovation culture promotes unity because success is dependent upon how well we work together And how will we use our collective talent to build a better society? In this environment, we can't afford to leave people of any religion, race, ethnic background, or sexual orientation behind, because we depend on their unique contributions to the greater good. We should embrace diversity because it's fair, because innovation thrives on a variety of perspectives, and because when we marginalize groups, we lose the important marginal advantage of deploying fully 100% of our workforce. We have long known that solid street, water, and wastewater infrastructures contribute to the community's prosperity. As Lincoln faces the challenges that lie ahead, we need to embrace the innovation culture more broadly to enhance current infrastructures and to add new infrastructures. All the power of new knowledge must be brought to bear. It's as simple as that. I've been discussing primarily the need for local government to be innovative and how it responds and delivers needed services. It is equally important to acknowledge the dedication of local residents and individual people that quietly improve our city on a daily basis. Accordingly, I am happy to announce the partnership with Leadership Lincoln to announce the first annual Luminary Award. Please join us on the winter solstice, December 21st, 2016, to honor the first recipient, who will be a citizen who has displayed consistent and intentional actions that demonstrate Lincoln's values and has gone above and beyond in making a positive impact on Lincoln and its citizens. And you will choose them. Nominations will be accepted on Leadership Lincoln's website until the end of October, I believe. So I want to thank Leadership Lincoln again for the partnership today, for allowing me to make this presentation to you. I am grateful to all of you for everything you do for Lincoln, day in and day out. You have indeed been a part of making this one of the truly great cities in the nation. And I'm humbled to be your mayor, and I look forward to what we can achieve together this coming year. Thank you very much.